because you lost a rap battle? We don't want to hear you sing no more. Like, that's what it's given. Like, you're really not like us. Rashida need bags. Her kids going to jail. Kurt Adams' apple will not prevail. I don't know. We're back. Welcome back to Afternoon Morning Coffee. We got a lot of things to get into. There's mad stuff going on everywhere in every direction. And I'm going to try to keep it succinct. Amen. You know what I'm saying? Try to keep the thing brief like I always say. Amen. Amen. Okay. Now, let's start with Drake. We have to start with Drake. Drake's still persisting with this lawsuit. So if y'all don't know, Drake is a Karen. I don't know another way to say it. Drake is a Karen. So Drake is basically, I don't know if y'all know, but Drake is suing UMG. This is all about the Not Like Us, the record and how it took off. So Drake is suing UMG for defamation of character and all these other things. So they're at the point in the case where they're doing discovery. And Aubrey Graham is being a literal Karen, like he is the police. This man, Aubrey, is requesting, allegedly, documents for the paternity of Kendrick Lamar's children, for any DV incidents regarding Kendrick Lamar and the mother of his kids, and he's requesting emails from the CEO of UMG. That's not alleged. Like, they're actually requesting that because he says that they're conspiring against him and that the song Not Like Us, the CEO approves everything, and he approved this because he wanted to bring Drake down before Drake's contract renewal. This is very much giving me strongly worded letter. Like, this is giving me, I'm calling the police. Like, I can't understand. Will never see anyone take a L. And I said this in my most recent video, is that Drake is literally giving us police vibes. And it's crazy because you want to be a part of the culture so bad. But the culture of hip hop has always been anti-police. So for you to be policing this situation this bad because you lost a rap battle, we don't want to hear you sing no more. Like, that's what it's given. Like, you're really not like us. Okay? They not like us is Drake. Like, when they say they not like us, they not like us. And we don't want to hear you sing no more. We're talking about Drake. Okay? Because at this point, you are the ops. You cannot participate in a culture and also want to police the culture. You can't participate in the culture and do things that are in opposition of the culture. And I always say this to you. I say this all the time. This is what happens when people are raised by Karens. Again, this is not a hit at all people who are biracial, because not all biracial people are like this. But the ones who were raised by Karens specifically, not white moms, Karens, this is how they grow up. They grow up and they can't mask their Karen behavior. And Drake is doing everything to stay relevant in the culture, going all the way up and through, continuing to braid his child's hair, knowing that his child is white, basically. Like, it's just anything to stay relevant in the culture, but you don't actually want to be the culture. And it's strange. It's weird behavior. So somebody please get Drake out of here. We need him out of here expeditiously, because at this point it's getting too corny and the rap beat been over. He's also now pursuing the fact that he says that UMG censored his beef with what's his name back in the day when he had that beef with what's his name. His name's losing me. But he's saying they censored the beef back then, but they didn't censor Kendrick Lamar in this beef, and they allowed him to use the word pedo. We have to move on. You get what I'm saying? And the thing is, we push a T. Let me hear you push a T. And the thing is that I feel like we, the world, has been ready to move on, but he won't let us. Because you're doing all of this, just take the L. And to be honest, even if he did win a lawsuit against UMG or they settled, which it don't seem like they're gonna do, we're still gonna think you're corny. Your name is not going to ring bells in the streets. At this point, you got beef with LeBron James. You got your tat covered up, which was weird that you ever had a tattoo of him. Like you're never going to beat the corny allegations, and I think we just need to move on. So there's that. But we need to pack it up. Send him about his day. And honestly, I don't think his career is done because I'm not a hater. I know Drake is talented. I just think that his reputation outside of his music is in hell. Like, nobody's really trying to be around him. And I wouldn't be around him anyway because you're giving the ops. Like, at this point, it's given that you will call the police. So there's that. Let's get back into Rashida got bags. Her husband's a girl. Her career is over. All over the world. So if y'all didn't hear, Rashida, so Kirk and Rashida and Kirk's Adam's apple and his 3 earrings got a lot going on. So apparently Kirk's daughter, who is Rashida's stepdaughter, got into some sort of altercation with Kirk's daughter. Allegedly, Kirk's daughter called her brothers, Rashida and Kirk's 2 sons. One of them lived there. They went and they responded to her call. She's saying she didn't call them, but they responded to her call. They must have got into a tussle with her boyfriend, who's also a well-known rapper in Atlanta. Well, I don't know about well-known. He's a rapper in Atlanta. His name is T Hood. I was calling him T Grizzly yesterday. His name is T Hood. So apparently they got into an altercation. They responded. They got into it. Now it's being alleged that Rashida's and Kirk's 2 sons left to go get that thing, came back with that thing, and unalived the sister's boyfriend. Now they're saying that he was shot 7 times in the back, which means that he was trying to leave or get away. The sister has also put out statements about him trying to leave when this all happened. Now, what's crazy about this is that it sounds like the brothers came over there to defend their sister. She's saying, the sister put out statements saying she did not call nobody over there to do anything for her. She said that she never involves her family in any of these situations because typically her and her boyfriend have had all of these issues and they always end up right back together. So she don't involve her family. And he was recovering from 3 gunshot wounds that happened recently, is what she's alleging. She also said that her brother was the one that did it. She has told the family several times that the brother was the one that did it because the family is blaming her for setting up their loved one who passed away. Now, the reason that Rashida and Kirk might need bags too, not the bags, but bags, is because it's being alleged that they were keeping their son in hiding after the shooting happened. So it was being alleged that they were on a lam and that Rashida and Kirk were the ones that picked up the 2 sons and got them up out of there after the incident happened. Now, they are saying that they've officially named Kirk and Rashida's son as the suspected shooter. And now they're investigating it as self-defense. I think it might be hard to prove a self-defense case, though, because it seems premeditated. If they left and came back with a weapon and then shot him and he was trying to walk away, Rashida need bags. Her kid's going to jail. Kurt's Adam's apple will not prevail. I don't know. That's what the streets is saying. You get what I'm saying? So they saying one of them was Kirk Jr. and the other one, I think the one who actually did the shooting that allegedly is Kai. So the one that has been seen on Love and Hip Hop before in the past, but they're saying that that's the one that did the shooting. So, but now they're saying that it's self-defense. And I know Rashida and Kirk got money, or they say they got money. So they lawyering up, but I don't know. It's a scary case. But what I will say is, I always say this to people, be careful when you step into DV situations because you might want to help your loved one and you might be the one that ends up behind bars because you helped your loved one. And like the daughter said, they probably would be right back together. So if he was still alive and he didn't lose his life, somebody could be in jail because you tried to help someone and you're facing life in prison while they booed up with the person. And the sister is clearly not in any way taking up for her brothers. Like, she's completely throwing them under the bus, and it sounds like they was caping for her. So I don't know. We'll see. Shakaryi Richardson. I don't know the full story, so I'm only going to give y'all what I've seen so far. But apparently her and her boyfriend got into an incident at the airport, and it became physical to some extent. And after they got physical in the airport, I guess the boyfriend called the police. The police arrived, and the body cam footage is now out where you can see Shakaryi is basically like cooperating with the police and saying that nothing happened. There was no physical altercation. I will say she admittedly said in the video, if you watch the body cam footage, I didn't touch him and he didn't touch me. Now, the video that came out showed her touching him. So it showed her being violent towards him. Okay, sorry, TSA called the police. Thank you for correcting me. It showed her putting her hands on him. So after he told the police that, she started calling him a coward. Like, oh, you gonna lie to the police? You lied to the police? But the police is saying, like, and she's telling him, like, why would you do that? And the police are saying, like, this is not up to him. In the state of Washington, like, you put your hands on somebody, you're going to jail, essentially. And they put her in cuffs, and she was like, oh, y'all don't got to be so aggressive. But you know what I'm saying? Like, if you can't put your hands on nobody. And this is the thing. I have to say that if in fact he didn't do anything to retaliate besides try to get away, he did the right thing. Because it's always going to be my opinion, and people have mixed feelings about my opinion, but I don't think a man should ever hit a woman. Sorry, even if a woman hits you, because if we all believe that men are stronger, then it just doesn't make sense. But I specifically believe that nobody should put their hands on anybody. So if he did walk away and just was trying to get away and she kept assaulting him, to jail you go. Now, I hate this for Shakaryi because everything is continuing to overshadow her career, and she's so talented, but it's always something. And my fear is that she don't realize that she's already a black woman who has things against her, and you're trying to progress in this industry, and you're not going to make it very far because every other week every year you in the news. Like, I don't know. And I get that we all have trauma, but you can't be putting your hands on nobody. So Shakaryi, we hate to see it. Shakaryi could have been racing to the track, but instead she was racing to the jail. Hate that. You know what I'm saying? Stay focused on what you're doing. Be committed, but keep your hands to yourself. Okay. Now, I'm going to quickly talk about Love Island, because then I'm going to talk about something more serious, and I don't want the two things to be all at the same time. Love Island. I spoke about this already, but I don't know why y'all thought Huda wasn't going to be at the reunion. Huda is going to be at the reunion crying every time a black person expresses their emotions. Every time. Taylor looks like Ed, and Eddie. His fit was terrible. I don't know what that was about, but when I seen his fit and the cowboy hat with the fit is giving Ed, and Eddie real bad. I hate that it has to be this way, but it was real bad. Him and Clark are going to continue to push this love narrative down our throat because they want us to believe that they're so in love. I still think they're weird. Coco has to count her days, because the fact that you got on there and try to say that you wanted to say hi to Olandria after you went on Winter's podcast, Winter from Bad Girls Club, anti-black Winter, cosplaying black woman Winter. You went on her podcast and was trying to laugh it up about what Olandria went through with Taylor. When you know Taylor's a corn, that gives you lane points, and we not jacking it. We, the black community, she gonna get on there and cry. Coco gonna get on the reunion and cry, and we as the black community and Olandria decides whether or not we forgive her. And I'm gonna tell y'all right now, we don't, because you went on Winners Podcast. That was weird behavior. So we, the people, we're not jacking it. Everybody wants Olandria and Shelly to go on there and wig out. They're not gonna be able to do that. They're black women. We need to accept that, and we need to keep doing the work to make sure that they're in safe spaces. They just signed contracts, but big up to them. And I don't know if y'all seen it. But Alandria and Shelly looking even more fine. They looking finer than ever. I didn't think it got no more finer than in the villa. But Shalandria been out in the streets looking finer than a mug. It's like they leveled up. It's like it got finer. I don't know how to describe it, but it's finer than fine, and we love to see it. And I'm listen. We hold it down for Shalace. I don't care. I'm not even gonna lie to y'all. I don't care. All jokes. I don't care. It's always gonna be Shalace. I don't care. And if y'all don't like that, too bad. Too bad. And Huda is going. But I'm telling y'all right now. Every time a black person expresses their feelings at that reunion, Huda gonna be hysterical. She gonna be crying. She gonna be crying, talking about she was bullied, and it's only gonna be when the black people tell her about herself. Okay. Winter is like Drake. That should tell you everything you need to know. Winter is basically Drake. Everything you need to know. They're the same people. So there's that. Now to something more serious. What's going on in DC. So what's really pissing me off about what's going on in DC is some of the rhetoric and the conversations that people are having about it. And let me start with the homelessness. So as you probably have seen, Trump is calling for people who are experiencing homelessness to be arrested and removed from the streets. So they had the option to go to a shelter, or they will be arrested if they refuse to go to a shelter. Now, here's the problem, because people are like, oh, why don't they just go to shelters then? When you don't understand how unlivable shelters are, I don't know if y'all have ever been to shelters, especially shelters for single people. Single people shelters are actually very dangerous. A lot of them have people sleeping in one big room. Their things get stolen, people get harmed. And also, outside of shelters being at capacity, shelters are not kept in livable conditions. You understand what I'm saying? Like the shelters that they're asking people to sleep in are sometimes more dirty than the streets. And at the very least, in the streets, you know that your stuff is protected and that you're not fighting for your life. Why do you think this is Christopher Columbus to y'all to think that people haven't thought about going to shelters? Why do y'all think that? The food in shelters is deplorable. And the thing is, if you wanted to really fix homelessness, if you really wanted to do something about homelessness in the city and clean it up, then put money towards shelters, make shelters more livable, and make the experience more livable for the people in shelters. But arresting them, imprisoning them, and treating them like criminals simply for experiencing homelessness is crazy and not humane. None of this, and I think that is the general feel of what is going on in America, is that none of this is humane. You're also taking away, we need more funding for mental illness, but you're taking away Medicaid from hundreds of thousands of American citizens. So people who were using Medicaid as their health benefit or Medicaid or Medicare to receive mental health services are going to be losing those services, which means, and let's be clear, there is mental health and homelessness are tied into each other very deeply. So people who are already experiencing homelessness and a mental health crisis will not have access to mental health services because they don't have any health insurance. They're cutting the budget from the food stamps, which means that people who are experiencing like hunger and not able to buy enough food or only have enough money for enough food for their kids are going to be experiencing homelessness because they're going to have to make a decision between feeding their kids and paying their bills. And if you don't feed your kids are going to get taken away from you and end up in the system. And you already was barely able to feed yourself with your $400 a month food stamps, much less you and your kids. And then so now when you can't feed those kids anymore, they're going to call you a bad parent. They're then going to remove your kids from the home. Let's be clear that research has shown that Black and brown families are targeted much more heavily when it comes to child protective services and kids being removed from the home. So that means that more Black kids are going to end up in a system that is already unsafe, worked in a foster care system. It is a crazy place. They're going to be removed from homes, ripped apart from their families, end up in jail. Families going to end up in jail. People are going to commit more crimes. That is what is being created in DC right now. That is what we're looking forward to. You know what I'm saying? Like that's my TED talk. So,